Welcome to Duocon 2023. My name is Severin Hacker. I'm the Chief Technology Officer and co-founder of Duolingo. I'm also someone who loves to learn. When Luis and I started Duolingo 11 years ago, we set out with a mission to develop the best education and make it universally available. We focus on language first because it's one of the most powerful tools for creating economic opportunity and connection. Today, Duolingo is the most popular way to learn languages in the world. By far, millions of learners have made new friendships, changed their careers, and challenged their brains by learning a new language. How did we do this? Well, we built a unique approach that's both fun and proven to work, with bite-sized lessons, gamified features, and interactive exercises, all backed by science. We call it the Duolingo method, and you will hear more about it later today. People love us for the way we help them learn, and they've been asking for a long time to learn more in the Duolingo way. Sometimes the suggestions are jokes. Could you make a Duolingo for dating? Or a Duolingo for talking to your kids? But some of the suggestions are quite serious. A Duolingo for geography, or a Duolingo for finance. All this time, we've been learning all the things you want to learn. Because our mission has always been about education, not just language. So today, I'm thrilled to share that Duolingo is ready to teach you more.
Pamplemousse.
What can you expect from the expanded Duolingo? Learn to read music and play fun, familiar songs for piano with our brand new music course. You will hear more about our music course from my colleague Vanessa later today. Build real-world math skills, from calculating tips to identifying patterns, and sharpen your mental math with our updated math course. With the new Duolingo, just one lesson in any course will keep your streak alive. You will also have more fun with all your favorite ways to stay motivated on Duolingo. With every course, you can rise in the leaderboards, send congrats for milestones, and complete quests. And you will have all this learning all in one place. Whether you want to learn a new language, strengthen your mental math, or explore music essentials, new courses are just a tap away, so you can challenge your brain in a different way every day. I use Duolingo every day, and my streak is 1,495 days. I'm currently in the Emerald League. I'm not a morning person, so on a typical day, I do one math lesson before breakfast, because math is a little bit easier for me. And then I do 1 or 2 Italian lessons before bedtime. Molto bene. As a learner, I love the variety of learning a little language and practicing a little math every day, all on Duolingo, and all while keeping my streak alive. So you might be wondering, why math and music? Well, these subjects transcend people and cultures, just the way languages do. Math and music power personal growth, opportunity, and connection. And they're mastered through foundational skills that are perfect to learn the Duolingo way. So what's next? You can give it a try. Starting today on an iPhone, you can sign up for early access in the Duolingo app. And you can be among the first to try our new math and music courses. I am extremely excited to share what we've been working on. Our vision with Duolingo is to build one app to learn anything. Adding music and math to Duolingo is one huge step towards that vision. So get ready. Your brain has a lot to look forward to. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Alex Chapchian.
And I'm Jasmine Vahid Safa.
We are both animators here at Duolingo. And today, we'll be talking about the transformative role of animation and technology in our app, as well as how it makes our learners' education journey more delightful, universal, and enjoyable.
If you've used Duolingo before, you'll already know how prominent animation and art is to our brand. In fact, we have an amazing in-house design studio team who is responsible for making all of the animations and illustrations you have seen over the years. That includes this year's amazing Duocon intro that you saw at the start of the show. And while it may not be immediately apparent as to why, our animated characters do in fact play a key part in our mission to bring the best education to the world and making it universally available.
Here at Duolingo, we are always seeking new and innovative ways to make learning more engaging and enjoyable. And while we use animation in a variety of ways, both in and out of the app, today's presentation will be primarily focused on the in-app use of animation, as well as how we use the latest software and technology to bring more animation to learners.
When you learn with Duolingo, you'll encounter not only charming animation cues, but also our beloved cast of world characters, including Duo the Owl himself. But overall, it helps to create a more engaging and enriching experience for learners. You can find these animations woven throughout the app, and the reason for this is simple. Animation is universal. It has this unique ability to transcend language barriers, which allows us to connect with our learners on a deeper and more intuitive level.
For example, the use of body language in animation offers a universal method for expressing emotions and intentions that can be easily understood by individuals from any linguistic background. One character's gaze can direct attention or express interest, while another character's expression can express success or confusion. It is a fundamental human language that resonates with anyone around the world. That's why animation has become a key tool for enhancing the learning experience, and we are dedicated to continue using it to elevate our courses. As we explore new learning methods and immersive features, we are discovering more unique ways to bring more animations to the app.
Although animation can make learning fun and engaging and encouraging for our users, it doesn't come without its own set of unique challenges. For starters, animation is notoriously time-consuming. And that challenge becomes particularly daunting as we are continuing to ramp up the volumes of animations needed to support all of the features that we are introducing to all our language courses. And with the launch of math and music, we will need even more animations to support this expansion of new subjects because we need to maintain the uniformity of that gratifying learning experience that Duolingo is known for. Part of maintaining that uniformity means that we have to maintain consistency. And part of maintaining consistency means we cannot compromise the animation quality in this process. So, how are we going to take volume of animation, quality of animation, and time to produce the animation and make this feasible for the app? Is there an economical way to meet these goals? How are we going to satisfy these demanding needs in an efficient way?
The key is in finding a way to gain the most value from the work that we do. A scalable solution, if you will. This scalable solution is where Rive comes into the picture. Rive is a powerful animation software that allows us designers, illustrators, animators, and engineers to collaborate and create animation assets that are not only interesting, but also interactive. At its core, Rive helps take a limited number of animation assets and allows us to mix and match them into a variety of ways to create a virtually unlimited number of combinations. It allows us to streamline the animation process while also making a single compact animation file that can be used for multiple unique purposes. Rive empowers us to save animation time, create design consistency, and add more value to our animations.
One of the most visible ways we are using Rive in the app is the addition of lip sync to the characters in the actual lessons. The lip syncing posed a challenge for us from the beginning. We teach more than 40 languages across more than 100 courses, each containing thousands of sentences. So manually animating the mouth shapes for not just one character, but 10 world characters was completely out of the question. So we had to think about it in a more practical way. We needed to account for any possible combinations of mouth shapes that would be running on top of the character animations that are reacting to a learner in real time, but also not affecting them or breaking them. To overcome this challenge, we used Rive to develop two systems. The first system was just for the mouths, which would be programmatically called and can be called in any order that you'd like. Then the second system was the actual character animation, which would be from an idle state would be triggered to go into an incorrect or correct state, based on if you got it right or wrong. We were then able to run these two systems at the same time, which allowed for independent movement of the mouth without actually affecting the character animation. Now, one might be wondering, why would you do this? Who cares? What is the point of putting so much effort and energy into something as small as minuscule mouth movements? Well, for starters, we thought that it would help to make the characters feel more alive, like that they were talking to you as an attentive study buddy instead of just a character with audio playing over them as they moved. Additionally, we thought it would help to provide some visual reinforcement of the spoken content, which is pretty important when you're learning a language. But on a more technical level, we realized how we could magnify animations in the app because of this project. Even in its earliest and roughest form, and I do mean rough, the fact that we got it working for just even 1 or 2 courses was huge for us because it informed us about this animation system and that it could work. And what kind of learning app would we be if we didn't encourage learning internally? As tools are evolving, so will our knowledge and understanding of them. And we will continue to implement those into the animations. We will continue this cycle of experimenting, improving, and refining, not just the lip sync, but other animations in the app over time too.
After the success of the lip syncing experiment, we continued to take this animation system and create an all-new lesson type on the path called Duo Radio. This new feature delivers language lessons through brief yet compelling radio shows hosted by the world characters. The stories explore a wide range of topics, offering a powerful simulation of real-world conversation, all while integrating humor and surprises to keep the stories feeling fresh, new, and entertaining. Every Duo Radio episode starts with an opening that changes depending on who's hosting the show. The length of the opening depends on the character's spoken language. And there are fictional callers, represented by avatars, that can call into the show at any time. Instead of needing to create countless versions of these animations, we used Rive's cutting-edge technology to easily reuse animations and switch between characters, expressions, and avatars. Despite appearing simple, this involved animators building a system that allowed engineers to control the host character, their reveal time, their expression, and which avatars are calling into the show. Utilizing Rive for Duo Radio paved the way to build thousands of potential ways to experience a single Duo Radio episode. The inclusion of lip syncing adds to the immersion, allowing characters to mouth the words that they speak. With these innovative features, Duo Radio is set to transform language learning by providing engaging and immersive content for learners around the world. And this is just the start. We're excited to expand on these scalable systems to bring even more animations and immersive lessons to the app in the coming year.
By leveraging animation's universal language and incorporating it thoughtfully throughout the app, we are committed to creating engaging and delightful interactions for our learners with the purpose of cheering you on and celebrating your milestones, also while providing an enriching educational experience.
We will continue to embrace animation as one of the many ways we can make learning fun and effective, all while making education more universally available. Thank you.
ChatGPT, DALL-E, Spotify AI DJ, Tesla Autopilot. AI is having quite a moment right now. It seems like everyone's talking about it. And it seems like more and more companies and apps are starting to use it. At Duolingo, we've been using AI to make learning more fun and effective since we launched over 10 years ago. I'm Clinton Bicknell, Duolingo's head of AI, and I'm excited to tell you about it. The reason why we've been using AI for over 10 years is our mission, which is to develop the best education in the world and make it universally available. And Duolingo believes that technology, and AI in particular, is the best way to scale high-quality education to everyone. So we use it throughout Duolingo. Let me tell you about a few examples that you may already know about. When you start a new course for a language that you already know some of, we give you a test to efficiently figure out where in that course you should start. That's AI. Or those notifications that you get to remind you to do your daily lesson, which sometimes could be just a little passive-aggressive, those are optimized with AI. Outside the language learning app, this also extends to the Duolingo English test, where we use machine learning to help create and grade test questions, to help administer adaptive tests, and even help with security. Today, I'll highlight two of our most recent efforts in AI. In one, we're using the latest advances in AI technology to provide new, richly interactive experiences to our learners. And in the other, we're combining all of the data that we have about our learners with AI models to personalize and optimize everyone's learning. First, our latest features, powered by OpenAI's most powerful model, GPT-4. This is the same technology that powers ChatGPT. Duolingo has worked with OpenAI for years, and we were working with them on two new learning features using GPT-4 before it was even announced to the public. And then we released those two features together with GPT-4 as official launch partners earlier this year. Both of them represent things that just weren't possible before. We're using the most cutting-edge AI technology to provide completely new experiences to our learners, and I'm super excited to tell you about them today. Both of these features are part of a new Duolingo Max subscription that's currently in limited beta release. The first feature we call Roleplay. In Roleplay, learners can practice having a free-form conversation aimed at a particular goal. That could be ordering a drink at a cafe in Paris, or it could be helping a lost tourist. This gives learners practice having real conversations with natural feedback, just like in real life. It's an extremely useful way of leveling up your language skills. But these aren't just any conversations. Since we're Duolingo, these are conversations with our Duolingo world characters, each with their own personality and backstory. So your barista in that Parisian cafe, that might be Lily. And that lost tourist that you're helping, that could be Eddie. Many of these conversations will also have some surprising plot twists to keep you on your toes. And finally, at the end of every conversation, we'll give you some tips about how you can have an even better conversation next time. The second of our GPT-4 powered features is called Explain My Answer. In it, you can ask Duolingo to explain an answer. This solves the common situation where you get an exercise wrong, but you're not quite sure why. Or maybe you even got it right, but you weren't quite sure why your answer was the right one. We use AI to generate these explanations for you in true Duolingo style, using simple, friendly language without jargon. For both of these features, we created them by combining GPT-4 with our in-house AI technology to deliver experiences that just weren't possible before. And I'm very excited to see how they're going to improve your learning. In addition to our new GPT-4 powered features, we've been continuing our work building AI models to optimize and personalize every lesson that you do. Duolingo learners do over 9 billion exercises every week, and we feed all of that data into AI models to make the experience better for everyone. As you may have heard from our presentation at Duocon 2021, we affectionately call the AI model that learns from all this data BirdBrain. Since that talk 2 years ago, however, we developed a completely new version of BirdBrain that uses the latest advances in AI technology to learn an even richer picture of what every person knows and which exercises are going to maximize their learning. Additionally, this new model updates its predictions about each learner in real time, meaning that what you do in one lesson can affect your very next lesson. The main way we use BirdBrain is we make predictions about how hard a particular exercise is going to be for a particular learner. You can think about these predictions as predicting how likely would this learner be to get that exercise right. So for example, if a learner has a 98% predicted chance of getting an exercise right, that's going to feel really easy. The learner probably won't learn much from it, and they might even get a little bored. If BirdBrain predicts that the learner has a 45% chance of getting this exercise right, That's going to feel very hard. It will probably discourage the learner, and they might not learn much from it. Now, if we predict a 79% chance, that's going to be just the right level of challenge that's going to keep this learner engaged and learning efficiently. We use this new version of BirdBrain to figure out which exercises will be best for you. We also use it to figure out the best order to put those exercises in a lesson to maximize how much you're going to learn. BirdBrain is effective. It leads to learners being more engaged and learning more. But the real magic of BirdBrain is that we can take all the data that we have about you and what you've done on Duolingo and combine it with the data we have about all of our other learners and what they've done on Duolingo to personalize and optimize your learning experience. Duolingo has been using AI since it started in its mission to provide high-quality education to everyone. And recently, that AI usage has been ramping up more and more as the latest advances in AI are allowing us to do things that we just couldn't before. Like allowing for richer interactions, like free-form conversations, or answering your questions about why an answer was wrong, and personalizing more deeply to meet you exactly where you are. All this means that Duolingo is becoming an even better personal tutor that's always in your pocket. And I can't wait for you to try it. Thank you.
If you could teach any subject the Duolingo way, what would it be? I'm Vanessa, and I lead engineering for new subjects at Duolingo. When I asked myself this question last year, my answer was music. I partnered with a talented designer, Jenny, who shared my dream of creating a new music course for Duolingo. Together, we went from an idea to a prototype and explored a ton of directions. Then we built a team of learning scientists, music experts, and engineers, and we developed a completely new music course right within the Duolingo app. Now, while I love music, I'm not an expert myself. In fact, I didn't have access to music education at all growing up until I changed schools in the 4th grade. Back then, I was a shy new kid, looked good in sweats, but felt pretty nervous about making new friends. But learning to play the saxophone that year changed everything. As my musical skills improved, so did my self-confidence. Playing music helped me to let my guard down and feel less anxious. This helped me to make friends. Each of my teammates on music has their own story about how music has shaped them. We're thrilled to develop a course that empowers everybody with an interest in music to learn. Okay, so now you understand my personal reasons for teaching music. But why does this make sense for Duolingo? First, it aligns with our mission to make the best education universally available. With our course, you'll learn essential skills like playing to a rhythm or reading notes on a staff, even if you've never had access to music in school or can't afford private instruction. Second, we believe that music is beneficial for learning. Studies show that learning music can help with reading, verbal, listening, and math skills. It can even delay the cognitive decline associated with aging. Third, music is an excellent fit for Duolingo's Learn by Doing teaching style. Instead of watching lengthy videos or reading long-form text, you can learn through interactive exercises that keep you focused and engaged. You'll hear more about this from Bojena, our head of learning and curriculum, later today. And of course, we love the fact that music is fun. So who wants to see the course? The course teaches music by way of an on-screen keyboard. This is the lesson that introduces the note E. First, you learn how to find the note E on the keyboard. Then, you learn how to identify the note E on a musical staff. The exercises are interactive and allow learning through mistakes. Concepts are introduced gradually and reinforced well so that anybody can learn regardless of experience. Throughout a lesson, learners will develop playing, sight reading, and listening skills and are able to apply their skills right away. The most enjoyable aspect of learning music is applying your newly acquired skills to perform songs. Duolingo's music course offers ample opportunities to put your abilities to the test by playing a diverse selection of songs with instrumental accompaniment. As you engage in performances, you'll accumulate points and receive encouraging feedback for playing the correct notes, all with an interactive game-like environment. This reinforces the techniques you're learning and allows you to develop a deeper connection with the music you're playing. When you reach the end of a song, you'll have a moment to feel good about the points you've earned and keep track of the progress that you've made. Are you all ready to try it? It's coming soon, right in your Duolingo app. Starting today, iPhone learners can sign up to be the first to try our new music course. I can't wait to see what you think. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bożena Pająk, the VP of Learning and Curriculum at Duolingo. Picture language learning, grammar explanations, conjugation tables, long word lists to memorize. Let me share a secret. None of this is key when learning a language. The key is to let your brain learn the way it learns best, by interacting with the world and finding patterns. Our brain is optimized to learn this way, and we do it without even realizing it. That's why on Duolingo, you learn by doing. Instead of listening to long explanations or memorizing grammar rules and word lists, you immediately do something with the language. You go through lessons and use the words and grammar you're learning. The fun, game-like exercises keep your brain focused so that you find patterns and internalize them over time. And when it's time to use what you've learned in real life, you're able to put together sentences without having to think about the rules. The most beautiful thing about it, your brain does it all completely automatically. Let me show you. Imagine I speak a language that you really want to learn. It's not difficult because this language is very similar to English. But there are some words that are different. I help you by talking to you in this language. Look, this is a DAX. And here are 3 more. What do you think DAX means? I bet you immediately guessed it. It's a dog. But let's look at a different scenario. Imagine that instead of these examples of a DAX, I showed you these. In this scenario, I'm sure you're thinking that DAX means a specific dog breed, a Dalmatian. Take a moment to appreciate what your brain just did. In each scenario, you developed an immediate intuition about what DAX means. And you didn't just guess based on the first picture. You combined information across multiple examples, and in each case, you arrived at a different answer. And you did it all completely automatically. This is exactly how we all learned our first language as children. We didn't memorize conjugation tables or other grammar rules. We learned by listening, observing, and letting our brain find patterns. And the best proof of this are the mistakes that young children make. You might have heard kids say, "I eat a cookie" instead of "I ate," or "I go to a park" instead of "I went." Kids say this because they've learned the pattern. In English, the past tense usually has the ed ending. I wanted, I liked, I played. Kids figure out this pattern and apply it across the board until they learn the exceptions like ate or went. As adults, we can learn languages the same way, Just think back to how you learned the word DAX. That's why we've developed the Duolingo method, which enhances this natural ability we all have to learn as we interact with the world. On Duolingo, you learn by doing. It feels like a game, but you are actually learning. But while the experience feels simple and intuitive, crafting it is anything but. Let me take you behind the scenes to give you a little taste of what goes into creating lessons that follow the Duolingo method. It all starts with something very complex, the curriculum. We take each concept we want to cover in the course and split it into small chunks that can fit into our bite-sized lessons. As you complete many lessons, all those tiny chunks accumulate, and you end up learning a bigger concept. Let's look at an example. In Spanish, there's this important concept called gender and number agreement. And here's a very technical description. Spanish nouns have a gender, either masculine or feminine. Adjectives need to match the gender and number of the nouns they describe. Sounds complex, right? And here's what it looks like on Duolingo. We start with the most basic pattern and choose examples that illustrate it clearly. John es americano. Ana es americana. Juan es mexicano. Maria es mexicana. I bet you're already spotting the pattern. Americano, americana. Mexicano, mexicana. Instead of giving you a lengthy explanation, we simply let you learn by doing. You go through the lesson and enjoy the experience. But in the background, your brain is doing a lot of learning. The Duolingo method works because learning by doing is how you learn best. You interact with the world and find patterns. And whether you're learning languages, math, music, or reading, it's all about internalizing patterns and connecting the dots. That's why on Duolingo, you learn by doing. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jessie Becker, Director of Learning Design here at Duolingo, and I'm thrilled to introduce you to our new immersive English teaching experience. We've been hard at work developing a curriculum that teaches English at more advanced levels of proficiency. At earlier levels, Duolingo courses rely a lot on learners' native language. We've had some more immersive exercise types for a while, but now for the first time, we're developing a truly immersive, no translation experience for learning English. It includes new immersive exercise types that you haven't seen before, and I'm excited to share that it's coming soon to our English courses. Providing an English learning experience for more advanced levels is important to us for many reasons, but first and foremost because it advances Duolingo's mission of developing the best education in the world and making it universally available. Our 2022 Duolingo Language Report tells us that English is the first or second most popular language to learn in 131 countries. And we know that English learners have unique needs. Many come with prior proficiency, meaning that they've done quite a bit of study of English and they're ready for more advanced content. They're usually ready for greater independence, so they need less translation. And many tend to have professional or academic goals. We know that for these learners, studying English really has the potential to change lives. English proficiency tends to come with greater job and educational opportunities, and we want to do our part in helping to open those doors. So how are we responding to these needs? At Duolingo, our learning experts use the international standards of the CEFR, or Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. This framework tells us what a learner should be able to do with the language at each level of proficiency. For now, we're developing the B1 and B2, or intermediate levels, on the CEFR scale. These levels are all about becoming an independent user of the language. So our immersive experience is designed to enable learners to speak with more fluency and spontaneity, to talk about a wider range of topics, including more abstract ones like cultural or political issues, and finally, to enable them to speak on more specialized topics, like those of a specific academic or professional field. And I want to share one more reason why we're so excited about this immersive English experience, which is that we can get it in front of many of our learners quickly. It's taught entirely in English with no translations, which means that our English experts get to focus on building just one high-quality course that we can share with our English learners all around the world. This means that content will be shared across our courses. So as you can see here, whether you're a native speaker of Japanese, Russian, Chinese, or any other language, you'll have access to the same carefully crafted English lessons, with a little support in your native language where you need it. So what will all of this look like? Here's a bit more of a sneak peek into our B1 and B2 level content. We start by building on what learners already know to carefully introduce new vocabulary and grammatical concepts, like the ones you see here. Many of our immersive exercises may already be familiar to you from some of our existing Duolingo courses, and some are new. For grammar, these are designed to draw attention to exactly what learners need to know to master tricky grammatical concepts. We also teach new vocabulary using English only. We use language that we know will be familiar to learners to get the meaning across, followed by more opportunities to use new words and phrases in practical tasks, like participating in interactions or understanding a written text. And throughout, these lessons also thoroughly target the key skills of reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Learners will get practice with reading and listening, for example, by identifying the subtle differences between similar sounds, comprehending full sentences, and understanding the main points of a written text. We are supporting writing and speaking skills with new exercise types that allow learners to produce language, from focusing on the subtleties of English pronunciation to completing written sentences and answering more complex questions. And finally, for longer reading practice, you get to learn alongside our delightful cast of characters in our stories, in familiar formats, and in new types of texts, like blog posts, ads, reviews, and more. You can also opt into writing practice at the end of a story, answering an open-ended question about what you just read. We're really excited to share this English experience with all of you. If you're learning English as a native speaker of Russian, Japanese, or Chinese, you may have already seen some of this content in your course. Right now, we are fine-tuning this immersive English experience to cover all of the B1 and B2 levels, and we hope to bring it to as many as possible of our 20+ courses teaching English soon. And if you're not learning English, this is really how we want to teach at more advanced levels across all languages. So as you level up your language skills, keep checking back for more improvements to your course. We hope to have an immersive learning experience at advanced levels coming to you soon. Thank you.
Fans adored her. Artists were inspired by her. And little girls wanted to be her. Josephine Baker, the American-born dancer who took Jazz Age Paris by storm.
Joséphine, un autographe, s'il vous plaît, Joséphine.
Oh, merci mon chéri, c'est très gentil.
But off stage, Josephine led a double life. She became a spy and joined the French resistance against the Nazis in World War II.
C'était dangereux, mais c'était pour la liberté.
I'm Ariana DeBose. Join me on October 11th for The Secret Life of Josephine Baker, the newest season of the Duolingo French podcast, where you can practice your French. Available on your favorite listening app.
Hi, my name is Hexie. And I'm Haley. We are the product designer duo at Duolingo. Here at Duolingo, we believe that each step you take towards your learning goals is worth celebrating. Today, we want to share some exciting updates for the Duolingo achievements. Starting to learn a new language is always exciting. But quite frankly, keeping up with it can feel a bit tough. since improvements can happen slowly and there aren't clear goals to reach. As a result, maintaining motivation can be the top challenge for many language learners. Oftentimes, we hear people saying, learning on Duolingo feels like playing mini games. This is no coincidence. At Duolingo, we have a secret sauce to keep our learners engaged throughout their language learning journey, and that is gamification. A key part of our gamification recipe is the achievement system. The concept isn't just popular in gameplay. Extensive research has proven the magic power for achievements to boost people's motivation in educational contexts as well. Indeed, we felt that magic early on. Like many Chinese kids, Hexie and I began learning English at a young age, and we find it boring. But everything changed as our teacher introduced a sticker reward system, which instantly sparked a competition between us to collect those colorful animal stickers. The once boring subject became an enjoyable experience, inspiring us to learn more and learn better. Nowadays, we still have fun competing with each other, earning badges in the Duolingo app. Meanwhile, as designers, we have a greater mission in mind. That is, making Duolingo achievements even better for our learners. Let's put it into context by doing a quick history lesson on this feature. The achievements were first introduced in 2017. Later, we updated the mini icon system to a tiered badge framework in 2019. In the current version, which many of you may find familiar, we kept the illustration and added a new level system. As the rest of the app evolves, the achievements start to feel like a little holdover. This feature is not reaching its full potential in engaging our learners. We began to envision new possibilities. What if we improve the badge visuals, making them more collectible and appealing? What if we made earning achievements more exciting so our learners had a greater sense of accomplishments as they progress? What if we tried personalization, ensuring achievements stay relevant at all times? After months of hard work with our talented teams, today I'm very happy to introduce the major redesign to the Duolingo achievements. Let us show it to you. Each achievement badge is now infused with humor and gives you a peek into the personality of your favorite Duolingo characters. Check out that Eddie, the earnest, fitness-loving father, takes center stage for the XP Olympian achievement. To encounter him within the app, all you need to do is to earn XP points by doing lessons. We further incorporate fun animations to make the badges truly come to life. Simply tilting your device, you can now interact with the depth and motion of a badge and really immerse yourself in the delightful moment of achieving a milestone. The excitement doesn't stop there. Getting ready for a fun learning adventure where you will uncover a diverse range of achievements as you progress. Some are regular milestones, such as correcting mistakes. Some are unexpected surprises, like studying late into the night. And even the rarest of treasures, like maintaining a daily streak for an entire year. And the list goes on. Now you might be wondering, where can I find my badge collections? Just head over to the Profile tab. You can catch a preview of the achievements you've earned recently. Tapping on the View All button will bring you to a full page showcasing all the badges, including the ones you've earned and the ones you're working towards. With this new gallery-style layout and clear sections, you can now easily discover and browse through all the achievements. Moreover, you can open up detail pages by tapping into each badge from the list. The detail pages allow you to closely appreciate what you've achieved and proudly share them with the world. while swiping through the carousel, you can get a clear understanding of your progress, as well as revealing helpful insights on the next goal to achieve. But wait, there's more. Have you ever felt proud of hitting a new longest streak, but wish you got more credit for it? We understand, and we are so excited to bring you the personal records. These unique badges represent your top achievements, including longest streak, daily XP, most perfect lessons completed in a day, and the highest league you've reached. These are totally personalized goals for you, and you can keep updating them as you do better. The brand new Achievements is out on Android now and will be coming soon on Apple devices. We can't wait for you to explore and collect each one of them. With the new design, we hope you unlock a renewed sense of motivation while learning on Duolingo. Together, we will celebrate milestones and make learning a joy for everyone. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Heine, the Marketing Director for Asia. Today, I'm excited to share with you the culture trends leading to Asian languages becoming the fastest growing language on Duolingo. And then, my colleague Selena will take the stage to share the innovative features we've developed to meet the learners' needs. Last year, my friends and I organized a karaoke night. After a few songs, they queued up a K-pop song by Blackpink, my personal favorite. I've listened to their music for hours at a time, and I know most of their songs by heart. But here's the catch. I couldn't sing along because my Korean was too basic at that time. As the music began, I just feel like the words stuck in my throat. Have you ever felt this way? Learning language isn't just about perfecting your grammar or memorizing words. It's about immersing yourself into the cultures too. Imagine watching a Japanese manga. You don't want to misunderstand any plot points. Or if you are binge watching a Korean drama, you don't want to get lost in the translations. Or maybe when you eat at a Chinese restaurant, you start thinking how fun it would be to travel to China, eat a dinner in China someday. All these moments lead to a simple but powerful desire. I want to learn this language. Let's take a look how Duolingo fulfills these desires. In the past 3 years, the number of learners learning Japanese on Duolingo have increased 120%, and majority of them are under 30. As you know, the Japanese manga and anime have gained significant popularities among young generations. I'm sure some of you watching Duocon right now are also big fans of Naruto, Dragon Ball, or Attack on Titan. To tap into this fandom, we collaborated with Crunchyroll to bring the popular Japanese anime phrases into our course content. And we also brought Duo and Hime together into one universe. Let's take a look. Now, let's travel to Korea. Over the past 3 years, the number of learners learning Korea on Duolingo have increased 195%. K-pop and K-drama are taking over our televisions. After the premiere of the Squid Game, we noticed something interesting happen to our Korean course. There is a clear bump of the number of learners learning Korea. Popular K-pop groups also had massive fan base. Their concert tickets were sold out in seconds. And the diehard BTS fans also want to go deeper with the band. As one learner said, I want to understand their songs without needing translation. Duo also wants to have fun, so we brought him to the Blackpink concert in Vietnam this year. This is a perfect moment to inspire people start their Korean language journey. Lastly, let's look at Chinese. We currently have 6.9 million learners on Duolingo studying Mandarin. China has a rich cultural heritage spanning thousands of years. It's also a popular travel destination, attracting people to its landmark like the Great Wall and the Forbidden City. See, Duo also went to the Great Wall. Classic Chinese dishes like the dim sum or dumplings are also foodies' favorite. We might not be crazy rich Asians, but we are rich in languages. The languages that bridges the culture and connect the passions. Because the interest in these languages continue to grow, at Duolingo, we work tirelessly to develop the innovative features to meet the learners' needs. Up next, you'll hear Selena, a software engineer, talk about the latest updates about our Chinese and Japanese courses. Thank you.
Thanks, Haina. Hey everyone, I'm Selena. I'm a software engineer here at Duolingo, and I'm excited to share with you some of the features my team has been working on for Chinese and Japanese learners. Let's get started with Chinese. Let's say you're new to Chinese, or maybe you've learned it before, but you've been away from it for a little while. You come across this sentence, but you don't know how to pronounce it. What can you do? Well, one thing you can do in this situation is consult something called pinyin, which would tell you that this says, 我用多邻国学拼音. That is, I use Duolingo to learn pinyin. As you can see, pinyin is a way to write Chinese pronunciations using familiar Latin letters. It's really helpful for learning the pronunciations of characters you don't know yet, something that probably happens a lot if you're learning Chinese, since there are thousands of characters, each with a pronunciation that you have to memorize. In fact, even many native speakers learn pinyin when they're first learning how to read. Also, pinyin is a really popular way of typing Chinese, so learning pinyin means you'll be able to type Chinese on a familiar Latin alphabet keyboard. However, reading pinyin isn't quite as simple as just reading the letters, at least not with the pronunciations you might be familiar with. For example, in this sentence, the X in 学 makes the sh sound, which doesn't exist in English. Pinyin also uses accent marks to indicate tones, another feature that's somewhat unique to Chinese. So to help you get familiar with pinyin and all its unique features, as well as help you learn the fundamentals of Chinese pronunciation, we've added a new dedicated feature to the app. This chart lives in a new tab in the Chinese course. You can tap on the tiles on the chart to hear the sounds that the letters make. As you complete lessons, the progress bars on the tiles will fill and the tiles will light up. You can start lessons from the big blue button at the top of the chart. When you tap on it, you'll get handcrafted tips and bite-sized lessons that will help you learn and practice reading pinyin. When we introduce new information, we'll start with some useful tips for pronouncing and distinguishing any unfamiliar sounds. Then you'll get to put what you learned into practice in these handcrafted lessons. When we introduce a new character to you in your lessons on the Duolingo path, we'll use pinyin first to show you how they're pronounced. So, learning how to read and pronounce pinyin will be a great stepping stone towards learning Chinese characters. Speaking of Chinese characters, let's talk a bit about them now. Chinese characters are used in both Japanese, where they're called kanji, and Chinese, where they're called hanzi. Learning them is one of the most challenging parts of learning either of these languages. For one, there are thousands of characters in common use in each language. They represent meanings rather than pronunciations, so you'll have to memorize a pronunciation for each one, and many of them may have the same pronunciation. Especially in Japanese, a character may also have multiple different pronunciations depending on context. These characters also tend to be much more visually complex than letters in other writing systems, so there's more to remember there as well. If that all sounds kind of intimidating to you, then rest assured you're not alone. We know learners have been asking for more and better ways to learn and practice these characters for a long time, so I'm really excited to share with you this next new feature we've been working on. Introducing Hanzi and Kanji practice. For Chinese learners, you'll find this in the same tab as the pinyin lessons we just talked about. For Japanese learners, they're in the same place as your hiragana and katakana chart lessons. On this tab, you'll find a chart similar to what we have for pinyin and kana. However, Chinese characters work a little differently from those other writing systems, so the chart does as well. For one, you'll find the characters organized according to the path unit that they appear in, and as you learn new characters in your path lessons, they'll unlock in this chart. Like on the other character learning tabs, the tiles will also fill up with progress and light up as you complete lessons in the tab. Finally, if you tap on a character, you'll see an animation of how to write it, as well as a list of all the words you've learned in the path that use that character. We've designed the lessons in this tab to cover all the different aspects of a character. These feature exercises that are tailored to help you remember each character's shape, pronunciation, and meaning. You'll see some exercises that will be familiar from the path, as well as some shiny new ones we've designed specifically for practicing these characters. First, we have these handwriting exercises. In these exercises, you'll write the character on your screen with your finger or your mouse. As you become more familiar with the shape of the character, the exercises will become harder. For example, you'll build up from tracing a character a component at a time to tracing the whole thing. You'll also move from tracing the character to writing the entire character from memory. These exercises help you engage with the shape of the character by breaking them down component by component and stroke by stroke. Another exercise type that helps with this are these puzzle exercises. These are designed to show you how characters break apart into different components. As you puzzle together different characters, you'll gain an intuition for how they break down into components and how different components can be mixed and matched to create characters with similar sounds or meanings. Just like the writing exercises, these will get harder as you get more familiar with the characters. You'll start by just putting together the components of one character and move on to picking out the correct components from a pool of components that make similar characters. At this point, you may be wondering, hey, how can I get my hands on these cool new features? Well, if you're looking to tone up your Chinese pronunciation skills, pinyin lessons are available now on iOS and Android and coming soon on web. If you're looking to build some characters, kanji lessons for Japanese learners are available on iOS and Android and coming soon on web. Hanzi lessons for Chinese learners are coming soon on all platforms. We hope you'll incorporate these features into your Duolingo routine and really level up your reading skills. Happy learning! 谢谢大家! ご清聴ありがとうございました. And thanks for listening.
I'm coming from a poor environment where you don't have access to electricity, you don't have access to clean water.
The situation of Afghanistan is completely transparent. My family had no other option but to leave the country and take refuge in India.
I want to be somebody. I want to stand on my own.
Education is actually a key for me to open doors.
Just having a degree on its own is like wealth for the family.
So once you migrate to a new country, you have to work hard, so nothing comes easy.
Everybody has a right to education.
Refugee is a circumstance, it's a situation, it's not a person. These are students who are going to return 1,000-fold the investment that the universities make.
I got accepted to Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts. So I'll be starting in September of 2023.
UC Berkeley,
Emory,
Dartmouth,
University of British Columbia, Drexel University.
This program is the reason why a person like myself has the opportunity to go and study in the US.
Me going to Vanderbilt University is going to send a very strong message to my fellow refugees. It's going to be a message of hope. Everything is possible.
What they see now is just the beginning of what I'm capable of becoming.
Hi, my name is Luis Fonan, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Duolingo. And first, I want to thank you for being with us today and learning more about our company. And second, I want to tell you about some very exciting things that we've been working on. This is our 5th Duocon, and I thought it may be fun to tell you a little bit more about myself as a Duolingo learner, as opposed to the Duolingo CEO. So this is my profile on Duolingo. I have studied 6 languages on Duolingo: Portuguese, French, Arabic, German, Japanese, and Swedish. These days, my daily routine is about 20 minutes, and I do 5 lessons every day. I do 2 French lessons, which is the language that I'm most advanced in these days. I do 1 lesson in Japanese. I'm learning all the characters in Japanese mainly. I do a lesson in math, and I do a lesson in music. As of today, my streak is 2,874 days. I'm very proud of it, and I share it with everybody I can. Now, every year, we work to improve Duolingo in many ways. I always like to tell people that the hardest thing about learning a language or learning anything by yourself is staying motivated. So we work very hard to make Duolingo more fun and more social. First, let me tell you about Adventures, which is a really cool new interactive feature that is coming to our Android app soon. In Adventures, you get to practice the language that you're learning by basically playing a game. Another exciting update that you may have seen us experiment with is the Duolingo Avatar Creator. Many of our learners told us that they really liked our characters and that they would like to duofy themselves. So we're now allowing you to do that for your profile image. Today, we're offering way more customization options, including some Duocon 23 backgrounds. You should check them out and share them on social media using the hashtag Duocon. Another update is that now you can comment on your social feed in Duolingo. Adding comments allows you to really personalize your experience, especially when your friends do something really cool. In addition to making Duolingo more fun and more social, we're always working on making Duolingo teach better. You heard from Bojena about the Duolingo method, that's the Duolingo way of teaching, and you also heard from Clinton about how we use AI to teach better. One of the features we're most excited about is something we're calling Duo Radio, which is something inside the app where basically you get to hear our characters interview other people in the language that you're learning. It really feels a lot like a podcast, but with animations of our characters in the app. As you saw during Jesse's talk, we're also working on teaching English much better in a much more immersive way. Again, this content is entirely in English, so we're not going to be relying on translation at all. The idea is to get our English learners to really start thinking just in English. And our goal is to get them to a place where they can get a knowledge job in English. For those of you following, that's the level B2 in the CEFR scale. Finally, I want to very briefly touch on Duolingo Max, which is our higher subscription tier. We're very excited about it because with it, you're going to be able to use AI to learn in a faster and much more real-world setting. But the single most important thing I can finish this entire conference with is a reminder to please, I beg you, do your Duolingo lesson today. Thank you.